We're going to start today's practice seated on the mat. Now, before you get too comfortable, you have a couple options to consider. The first is that most of these postures are going to be done in seated. And so if you are someone that feels more comfortable in a chair or maybe sitting on the edge of a bed or a couch, you're more than welcome to do so. There will be one pose where we're going to lay down on our bellies. And so if you are choosing the chair yoga or miscellaneous furniture item yoga option, I would invite you to make sure that there is a space where you can get down on the ground comfortably. Now, that being said, if you're someone that doesn't feel comfortable getting down and up off the ground, off of a yoga mat, no worries. You can do that pose up against a wall. You're just going to want to make sure that you've got a lot of space. The second option to consider is we will have one pose, one of the very last postures we do today, that's going to require a lot of internal rotation in our shoulders. And most students like to have some type of prop that gives their arms a little extra length. So I have a yoga strap with me today. You do not need a yoga strap. If you have one, awesome. If not, a belt would suffice, even like a winter scarf or a bathroom or kitchen hand towel. All of those will do the exact same thing. So take a minute, grab your chair, grab your arm lengthening prop, and then we'll get started. Once you grab your prop, feel free to set it off to the side. We won't use it until the end of class. Now, as you guys get situated in whatever seat is comfortable for you, I invite you to find a nice tall spine. And so that doesn't mean that we have to sit here straight as a board, but try to align your heart over your pelvis and your head over your heart. Allow your shoulders to relax, especially if you're holding any tension in there coming into today's class. Maybe close down your gaze or simply lower it to the ground. Take a few breaths. Notice your sitting bones. If you're feeling like you're kind of leaning to one side or one's feeling more grounded than the other, maybe shift a little bit from side to side. Get comfy, get cozy. We'll be here for a bit. If you're sitting on the mat and this is not comfortable, you're finding your knees up really high, you're hunched over, grab a lift. Grab a stack of blankets, a couch cushion, yoga blocks, bolsters, anything to get your hips up a little higher than your knees. That's going to help you settle in so that you can really focus on your shoulders today. Just take a couple more grounding breaths. And then we'll get started. I'm actually going to turn so that you can see some of these poses better, but keep on facing the way that you're facing. The first thing we're going to do is just try to release a little tension in the shoulders. And so what I want you to do is on your next breath in, squeeze the tops of your shoulders up towards your ears as high as they can go. And as soon as you think that that's as high as they can go, squeeze them up a little bit higher. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, slide them all the way down. So imagine those shoulder blades really sliding down your back body. Inhale them up. At the top of your inhale, squeeze just a little bit more for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slide those shoulders back down. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, lift those shoulders up towards your ears. It should feel a little awkward and uncomfortable. At the end of your breath, one more squeeze and hold for 3, 2, 1. And then exhale, slide them all the way down. On your next breath in, we're going to rainbow our arms up, palms to touch at the top. And exhale, slide those palms down through heart center. Inhale, rainbow the arms up. Maybe take this opportunity to start syncing your breath to your movement. So on the inhales, we're lifting, we're opening. And on the exhales, we're sliding back down. We're grounding back down through our body. Let's take one more, and this time we're going to pause at the top. Interlock your fingers, flip those palms, and we're going to come into some seated cat-cows. So on your inhale, begin to send your heart space forward. Lift your gaze. This is our seated cat. And exhale, begin to round through your spine, flip your palms, send your knuckles away from you, gaze drops. This is our seated cat. So inhale, seated cow. Exhale, seated cat. And if this is already too much for your shoulders, you're welcome to drop your hands. So same intention, inhale, sending that heart space forward, broadening through the collarbone. And then exhale, rounding through your spine, imagining pulling those shoulder blades away from each other. So you can take whichever option feels good for you. Again, we're just warming up, getting a little bit of mobility into those shoulders before we add some stretches. Keep moving with the pace of your breath. Inhales into cow and exhales into cat. When you're done your last cat, I'm going to have you release your hands, bring them behind your back, palms to touch, interlock your fingers, and then send those knuckles down and away from your body. Roll your shoulders back. If it feels good, you could lift your gaze or maybe drop your chin down to your chest. You're going to feel a couple of different sensations, so whichever is feeling better in your body today, you're welcome to take that option. You could even kind of alternate between the two like I am. We're going to keep the same hand position, slide our hands over to our right hip, and then begin to drop our right ear towards our right shoulder. You may feel a stretch through that left neck, that left upper shoulder. Take a couple more breaths. Allow your shoulders to relax down, away from your ears. Inhale, lift. Exhale, send those knuckles back towards that midline. And then bring them over to the left on an inhale. And exhale, drop that left ear towards your left shoulder. Again, if you're not feeling anything, it could be that your shoulders are kind of clenched up towards your ears. Keep trying to settle them down, relax them away from your ears. Inhale, lift that head up slowly. Exhale, send those knuckles back one more time. And then on your inhale, release, shake it out, do what feels good. We're going to take eagle arms next. And so we're going to send our fingertips forwards, really reach them away from our body. And then cross our left arm under our right. Now our palms are going to face us. Feel free to start by placing your hands on your shoulders. And from here, gently lift the elbows. If this feels like enough sensation for you, stop right here. If you're looking for a little bit more sensation, you have the option to lift those palms off of your shoulders, twist that right arm around one more time, press your palms together, and then from here, press your forearms together, lift through those elbows. Breathe deep. A lot of times when we get in positions that either require a lot of strength or we're feeling a lot of sensation in one part of our body or another, we tend to hold our breath. Allow your breath to help you. Send your inhales to the part of your body that needs it the most. And on your exhale, release any extra tension. One more full breath in. Exhale, release your arms wherever they are down to your side. Try to avoid too much extra movement. We're just going to sit for a moment and feel the echo of that posture. Allow our body to settle. Now, that being said, if your shoulders are kind of hunched up, you can allow them to slowly slide back down. Find that heart over hips, head over heart alignment again. And we'll take it to the other side. Send those fingertips out and away. Hook that right arm underneath. And now you can go to your shoulders, or if you know you're going to want to take that option where we wrap around again, you're welcome to head straight there. Palms to touch again. And if you can, really hug those forearms together, press those elbows up towards the sky. Find your breath. If you find your mind racing, spinning, questioning when this is going to be done, see if you can invite a little bit of stillness, a little bit of quiet. Just take a couple more breaths. One more full inhale. And exhale, release. Again, sit in a nice quiet seat for a moment. Feel that echo. And then if it feels good, you could take a shoulder roll or two to kind of loosen some things up. Sometimes that stretch really brings a lot of awareness to that tension that we're feeling in the tops of our shoulders. So if it feels good to go back to that, kind of lifting the shoulder, sliding it back down, you're welcome to do so. We're going to shift onto our bellies. And so if you're joining me down on the mat, maybe make your way to hands and knees and then slide on down. If you are choosing the wall option, prepare to get very up close and intimate with your wall. And so I'm just going to have you find a wall space and just kind of stand right up against it as if you were laying down on your belly. And then the rest of it, you're just going to follow along with us. So to start, you can bring your hands together, kind of stacking your palms, and allow your forehead to rest. If it feels good, you could even bend into those knees, windshield wiper them from side to side. Release a little tension in your low back. And then when you're ready, we're going to extend our right arm out to the side. So it's about 90 degrees, but then you're going to lift it up just a smidge. It doesn't have to go very far. We just want to be just above the shoulder. Now from here, press into your left hand, begin to roll onto your right side. And now this might not feel very comfortable for you. So you could bring your knee in front to kind of come out of the sensation a little bit more. If you're looking for more sensation, I invite you to bend that top knee, and instead of bringing it out front, plant your foot behind you. Now you could keep your hand in front of you, or you could hinge at that elbow, take a bind behind your back, and really roll, kind of like opening up through your chest a little bit more. So take whatever feels good. You can rest your head down. Again, just like that last posture, you may feel a lot of sensation in your shoulders, and if that's the case, use your breath. One of the things I love about yoga is the ever constant reminder to balance and kind of bring the breath in unison with the movement of your body. And that can be really helpful during these times where you're feeling a lot of discomfort. One more full breath in. And exhale, slowly begin to roll out of this posture. If it feels good, again, you can take that moment to kind of rest in the center. And then we'll take it to the other side. So extend that left arm out to the side. And again, lift it up just kind of a few degrees above your shoulder. Press into your right palm. Flip over onto your left side body. From here, you've got options. Again, if it's too much, we're bending that knee and sending it in front of us. If it's not enough, we're bending that knee and planting the foot behind, maybe even allowing ourselves to open up a little bit using that bind with your right arm. Come back to that breath. We'll be here for just a couple more inhales, a couple more exhales. On your next exhale, begin to unwind. Maybe come back to that comfortable spot in the middle, allowing everything to rest and settle. And then as you're ready, we're going to come back to our comfortable seat. So if you're on the ground, you can press yourself up, come back to hands and knees, walk your knees through, and find that comfortable seat. Now we're going to head into that posture where you may want a little bit more arm lengthening. So have your strap handy. And what I'm going to invite you to do is send your right arm forward and then straight overhead. We're going to hinge at our elbow and allow our palm to rest on the back of our head, back of our neck, whatever feels comfortable, maybe the top of your back. And then as you get settled, bring your right hand to your elbow and see if you can walk those fingers any further down your back body. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It depends on that kind of mobility or what you're feeling in this shoulder. But we're aiming to get that elbow as high as we can. And that's gonna look different in everybody. So full breath in here. Exhale, we're gonna send our left arm out to the side. Invert the hand so that our thumb is down. Hinge at the elbow so that our thumb then slides up our back body. And we're gonna start reaching towards, so each hand's kind of reaching towards each other. And maybe you're able to interlock and find a bind here. This is where you're gonna use your strap. If your hands are feeling like they're really far away from each other, you can do this without the strap and just keep intentionally reaching. Or you could grab the strap or your belt or your hand towel in either one of your hands and use that to keep walking your hands kind of as close as you can towards each other. As you find that point where the sensation is just what you're looking for today, we'll pause. And we're going to pause here for a handful of breaths. Keep imagining that right elbow pointing up towards that sky, that left elbow down towards the ground. If you're finding that you're really rounding a lot here, I invite you to use that prop a little bit more, just so that you can find maybe even a little bit of lift through your heart space. If you'd like, this is a great opportunity to close that gaze or lower it. I love these slower moving classes because they provide a lot of opportunities to slow down the mind, to separate from the day, to find a little stillness, not only in the body, but up in that mind space. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Try to avoid wiggling, shaking it out. And sit with that echo. One more full breath exchange. And we'll take it to the other side. So begin sending those left fingertips forward and then all the way up overhead, hinging at the elbow so that we're finding this almost like a tricep stretch like you would do before exercise or after exercise. And then as you get settled, allow that right hand to kind of help guide that left elbow as far up as it's going to go and those fingers as far down your back body as they're going to go. And then just like we did the other side, we're going to extend that right arm, flip the thumb, hinge at the elbow, slide those fingers up as far as you can. And again, maybe you have a bind where you're kind of interlocking those fingers, or maybe you're going to use your yoga strap, your hand towel, what else did we mention? Belt, scarf, to give your arms a little bit of extra length. Again, check in with your posture. We're not looking for perfect posture by any means, but if you're feeling like you're really crouched forward or you're leaning a lot to one side, maybe allow that prop to give you some support so that you can really focus on those shoulders while maintaining a relatively nice upright spine. As you get settled, maybe you find a little lift in that chest space, maybe not. We're whole for 3 more breaths. One more full inhale. Exhale, release. Slowly back to your knees. And from here, I'm going to face you again. Now I invite you, as you get resettled, to take a little bit of movement. And so if it feels good, I like to do shoulder dips from side to side. So you're welcome to do that, to just kind of bring a little bit of comfortable movement, a little extra stretch through that shoulder, through that chest space. And this is the last planned posture of the class. And so you can stay here taking these shoulder dips as long as it feels good. If you're looking for a little bit of extra movement, some other ideas might be a nice kind of pulling the arm across shoulder stretch. You could do that on either side. If you're looking for a little bit more down into our spine, you could do a seated twist. Another option, again, only if you're looking for more, are some really gentle shoulder circles to kind of end your practice. So again, stay with these dips or choose any last minute postures that feel good in your body. And then when you're done, you can make your way to the Shavasana length and position of your choice today. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.